Have you ever wondered if the greatest obstacle standing between you and the life you dream about is not your past, your family, your finances, or your circumstances, but the version of yourself you refuse to leave behind? Listen carefully, because everything changes the moment you stop protecting the person you have already outgrown. The future is waiting, but it refuses to make room for the old you. Every day you wake up with two choices. You can repeat yesterday until it becomes your identity, or you can decide that today is the day you become someone your past would never recognize. Most people are not trapped by chains. They are trapped by habits, excuses, and familiar routines that quietly convince them they are safe. But comfort has never created greatness. Comfort only teaches you how to settle for less than you were created to become. Think about the eagle. There comes a season when it cannot keep the same feathers if it wants to keep soaring. Holding on to what once served it would eventually slow it down. In the same way, your old thinking, your old fears, your old excuses, and your old limits may have carried you through one chapter, but they cannot carry you into the next. Growth always demands that something old must be released before something greater can appear. Imagine a seed buried beneath the ground. If that seed could speak, it might believe the darkness was the end of its story. It cannot see the sunlight waiting above the soil. It only feels pressure from every direction. Yet that pressure is not punishment. It is preparation. The shell must break before the tree can rise. The breaking is not destroying the seed. The breaking is revealing its true potential. The same is happening in your life. The pressure you feel today may be exposing the person you are capable of becoming. Stop asking why life feels uncomfortable. Start asking what this season is trying to produce inside you. Every challenge is inviting you to become stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than you have ever been before. You cannot become extraordinary while defending ordinary habits. The person you want to become is already calling you forward, but you must be willing to walk away from the version of yourself that keeps looking backward. Your next level begins the moment you decide your future deserves a better you than yesterday ever could. The hardest battle you will ever fight is not against another person. It is against the voice inside your own mind that whispers, "Stay the same. Don't take the risk. Don't change. Don't grow." That voice sounds safe, but it is stealing your future one decision at a time. Every dream that dies begins with a small decision to remain comfortable instead of becoming courageous. Look around at the people who inspire you. They were not born with a different heart or a different mind. They simply reached a moment when they became tired of repeating the same patterns. They realized that success is not built in one giant leap. It is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when discipline replaces excuses, and when consistency becomes more important than motivation. Picture a sculptor standing before a massive block of stone. To everyone else, it looks ordinary, heavy, and lifeless. But the sculptor sees something hidden inside. With every strike of the chisel, pieces begin to fall away. The stone does not become weaker because parts are removed. It becomes more beautiful. The masterpiece appears because everything unnecessary is chipped away. Your life follows the same principle. Every habit that wastes your time, every fear that limits your courage, every excuse that keeps you from acting is another piece of stone hiding the masterpiece within you. Growth is not always about adding something new. Sometimes it is about removing everything that no longer belongs in your life. Many people pray for a better future while refusing to become a better person. They want different results with the same thinking, the same routines, and the same mindset. But life does not reward wishes. It rewards transformation. If your daily actions remain unchanged, your future will simply become a larger version of your present. Ask yourself a difficult question. What part of your life are you protecting simply because it feels familiar? Is it a habit that drains your energy? Is it a relationship that constantly pulls you backward? Is it a belief that tells you that you are not capable of more? The answers may be uncomfortable, but they are also the beginning of freedom. The greatest prison has no walls. It is the belief that you have already become all you can be. The moment you reject that lie, your possibilities expand. Every sunrise becomes another opportunity to rewrite your story. Every decision becomes another step toward the person you were always meant to become. Do not fear the process of change. Fear the regret of discovering years from now that you stayed loyal to an outdated version of yourself while your true potential waited patiently for you to finally become who you were capable of being. Most people believe transformation happens the moment everything around them changes. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Your world begins to change only after you change the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you respond when life becomes difficult. The greatest breakthrough is never outside of you first. It is always inside. The day you master your inner world is the day your outer world begins to obey a new direction. Imagine a man carrying a heavy backpack up a steep mountain. With every step, he complains that the climb is impossible. He blames the mountain, the weather, and the distance ahead. But someone finally asks him to open the backpack. Inside are stones he picked up along the journey, believing they might become useful one day. He has been carrying unnecessary weight without even realizing it. The mountain was never his greatest problem. The burden he refused to release was. Many people live exactly like that. They carry old disappointments, painful memories, broken confidence, guilt, fear, and the opinions of people who no longer belong in their lives. Then they wonder why every dream feels exhausting. You cannot run toward your future while dragging the weight of yesterday behind you. At some point you must make a decision. Either protect your past or pursue your purpose. You cannot do both. Think about a river. It never reaches the ocean by clinging to one place. It keeps moving. When rocks stand in its way, it does not quit. It finds another path. When the ground becomes uneven, it adapts without losing its direction. The power of the river is not in its size. The power is in its willingness to keep flowing. Your life must develop the same determination. There will always be people who remind you of who you used to be. They will expect the old reactions, the old fears, and the old limitations. Surprise them. Let your discipline speak louder than your excuses. Let your actions become so different that your results silence every doubt, including the doubts you once had about yourself. Remember, your future does not need a perfect person. It needs a committed person. Someone who is willing to learn after failing, stand after falling, and continue after being discouraged. Progress belongs to those who refuse to surrender, because they understand that every setback carries a lesson, every delay builds endurance, and every challenge develops strength. Today is not asking you to become someone else overnight. It is asking you to become slightly stronger than yesterday, slightly wiser than yesterday, and slightly more disciplined than yesterday. Small victories repeated consistently create extraordinary lives. The old version of you survived. The new version of you is ready to lead, inspire, and rise beyond every limit you once accepted. There comes a moment in every meaningful life when you must stop asking for permission to become greater. Too many people spend years waiting for someone to believe in them before they choose to believe in themselves. They wait for perfect timing, perfect conditions, or perfect confidence, but perfection never arrives. Opportunity belongs to those who move while others continue waiting. The person you are becoming is not created by comfort. That person is forged in the decisions you make when fear tells you to stop and purpose tells you to keep going. Imagine a blacksmith shaping a sword. The metal does not become strong because it is admired. It becomes strong because it is placed into intense fire, hammered repeatedly, and cooled before the process begins again. If the metal could speak, it might call the process unfair. Yet every strike is preparing it for a purpose far greater than decoration. Without the fire, it remains ordinary. Without the pressure, it never becomes powerful. Your life follows the same pattern. The difficulties you face are not always obstacles blocking your future. Sometimes they are the very tools shaping you for it. Every disappointment teaches endurance. Every failure teaches wisdom. Every delay teaches patience. If you refuse to learn from hardship, you will repeat the same lessons. But if you embrace the process, your struggles become stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. Look back for a moment, not to live there, but to recognize how far you have already come. There were challenges you once believed would destroy you. Yet here you are, stronger than you were, wiser than you were, and more prepared than you realize. That should remind you of something important. If you survived your hardest seasons before, you can overcome the challenges standing in front of you today. Stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. A tree does not compete with the flower growing beside it. The flower blooms in one season, while the tree spends years developing deep roots before reaching extraordinary heights. Both have value, but each follows a different purpose. Your journey is not delayed because someone else appears ahead. Your journey is unfolding according to the strength you are building beneath the surface. Choose today to become the person your future requires. Speak with confidence even when your voice trembles. Act with discipline even when your emotions resist. Continue with faith even when you cannot yet see the destination. Every courageous decision weakens the grip of your old identity and strengthens the character of the person you were always meant to become. Do not settle for the life that feels familiar. Reach for the life that demands your growth, because every step beyond your comfort zone is another step toward the extraordinary future that has been waiting for you all along. Every new level of your life will require a version of you that does not yet exist. That is why growth feels uncomfortable. You are not simply changing what you do, you are changing who you are. The greatest mistake people make is believing that success is about reaching a destination. In reality, success is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain that destination. If your character does not grow with your opportunities will eventually disappear. Think about the butterfly. Before it ever spreads its wings across the sky, it spends time hidden inside a cocoon. From the outside, nothing appears to be happening. It looks silent, still, and unimportant. But inside, everything is changing. The old form is dissolving so that a completely new creation can emerge. Imagine if the butterfly became impatient and tried to escape before the transformation was complete. It would never develop the strength needed to fly. Many people quit too early because they mistake silence for failure. They believe that if progress is not visible, then nothing is happening. But the greatest changes often happen where no one can see them. Every disciplined morning, every difficult decision, every hour spent improving yourself is shaping a future that has not yet become visible. Just because others cannot see your progress does not mean your progress is not real. There will always be voices that try to define your limits. Some will remind you of your mistakes. Others will tell you to stay realistic because they are uncomfortable with your ambition. Never allow someone else's limited vision to become the boundary of your life. People can only describe you based on the version they have seen. They cannot predict the person you are becoming. Ask yourself an honest question. Are you feeding the habits that strengthen your future or the habits that strengthen your past? Every choice is planting a seed. Every conversation, every book you read, every hour you spend, every thought you repeat is creating tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. You may not notice the harvest immediately, but the seeds are growing whether you pay attention to them or not. The strongest people are not those who never feel afraid. They are those who refuse to let fear make their decisions. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing your purpose over your panic. Every time you move forward despite uncertainty, you weaken fear and strengthen confidence. Confidence is built through action, not through waiting. Never underestimate the power of one disciplined day. One disciplined day becomes one disciplined week. One disciplined week becomes one disciplined month. Over time, ordinary days become an extraordinary life. The old version of you counted reasons to quit. The new version counts opportunities to grow. Keep moving forward, because every step you take is carrying you farther away from who you were and closer to the remarkable person you are destined to become. There is a silent danger that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. It is the decision to become satisfied too soon. The moment you believe you have learned enough, grown enough, or achieved enough, you stop expanding. Life never rewards those who remain still. It rewards those who continue stretching beyond what they thought was possible. The strongest trees keep growing toward the light, and the strongest people keep reaching for higher levels of character, wisdom, and purpose. Imagine a champion preparing for the biggest competition of a lifetime. While others celebrate yesterday's victories, the champion wakes up before sunrise to train again. Why? Because yesterday's success cannot win today's battle. Every new challenge demands fresh preparation. The medal hanging on the wall may remind the champion of what was accomplished, but it cannot replace the work that must be done today. Your life works exactly the same way. Past achievements should inspire you, not satisfy you. Celebrate your progress, but never allow yesterday's victories to become today's excuses. The person who keeps learning will eventually surpass the person who believes there is nothing left to learn. Humility is the doorway to continual growth because it reminds you that every day carries another lesson waiting to be discovered. Think about a farmer standing in a field after harvesting a successful crop. Instead of relaxing forever because of one good season, the farmer begins preparing the soil again. The land must be cultivated, weeds must be removed, and new seeds must be planted. Without preparation, the next harvest will never come. Success is never permanent. It must be renewed through consistent effort and faithful discipline. The same principle applies to your mind. If you stop feeding it with truth, wisdom, and positive thinking, negative thoughts will quietly take over. If you stop strengthening your discipline, distractions will grow stronger. If you stop protecting your vision, doubt will slowly replace confidence. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you water will grow. Whatever you neglect will eventually wither. There will be moments when progress feels slow. You will wonder if your sacrifices are worth it. In those moments, remember that the tallest buildings spend months laying foundations that no one applauds. The hidden work determines the visible results. Never despise the unseen seasons of preparation, because they are building the strength required for the opportunities ahead. Do not allow temporary setbacks to convince you that your future has been cancelled. Every delay can become a lesson. Every obstacle can become training. Every disappointment can deepen your resilience if you refuse to surrender. The old version of you looked for reasons to stop when life became difficult. The new version understands that difficulty is often the invitation to become stronger. Keep growing even when nobody notices. Keep learning even when nobody applauds. Keep believing even when the evidence seems small. One day, the life you are quietly building will speak so loudly that your past will no longer recognize the person you have become. Your greatest competition has never been another person. It has always been the person you were yesterday. The world will constantly tempt you to compare your journey with someone else's success, but comparison is a thief that quietly steals confidence, focus, and joy. The moment your eyes remain fixed on another person's path, you lose sight of the unique assignment that only you were created to fulfill. Stop measuring your progress by someone else's timeline. Measure it by the distance you have traveled from the person you used to be. Imagine a marathon runner who spends the entire race looking sideways instead of forward. Every glance toward another runner slows the rhythm, weakens concentration, and increases the chance of stumbling. The finish line has not moved, but the runner has become distracted. Victory belongs to those who keep their attention on the road ahead, not on the people running beside them. Life is no different. Every minute you spend envying another person's blessings is a minute you are not developing your own gifts. You have talents waiting to be refined, ideas waiting to be explored, and opportunities waiting to be embraced. But none of them can flourish while your attention is trapped in comparison. Your purpose requires your focus, not your jealousy. Think about a lighthouse standing on the edge of the sea. It does not chase ships across the ocean. It simply stands firm, shining consistently through every storm, every wave, and every dark night. Because it remains faithful to its purpose, countless lives find direction through its light. You are called to become like that lighthouse. Do not waste your energy chasing approval. Shine through your actions, your integrity, and your discipline, and the right opportunities will find their way to you. There will always be critics who question your vision because they cannot see what you see. Do not become discouraged by voices that have never carried your dream. Every remarkable achievement was once misunderstood by people who lacked the imagination to believe it was possible. Never let temporary opinions become permanent limitations. Every morning gives you a fresh opportunity to strengthen your character. Choose patience instead of frustration. Choose discipline instead of procrastination. Choose gratitude instead of complaining. These choices may appear small, but they shape the person you become over time. Character is not built in dramatic moments. It is built through ordinary decisions repeated faithfully every single day. One day people will look at your life and wonder how everything changed. They will notice the confidence, the peace, the wisdom, and the strength that now define you. What they may never fully understand is that your transformation did not happen in one extraordinary moment. It happened through thousands of quiet decisions to keep growing when quitting seemed easier. The old version searched for validation. The new version walks with purpose, knowing that true greatness is discovered by faithfully becoming the best version of yourself every single day. The moment you decide to leave your old life behind, do not expect everyone to celebrate your growth. Some people are comfortable with the version of you that asked for less, expected less, and accomplished less. Your transformation forces others to confront their own excuses, and not everyone is willing to do that. Never confuse resistance with failure. Sometimes resistance is the greatest confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. The higher you climb, the stronger the winds become. But those winds are proof that you are rising above the level where you once lived. Picture a mountain climber making the final ascent toward the summit. The air becomes thinner. Every step demands greater strength. The path grows steeper, and turning back begins to look easier than moving forward. Yet the climber understands something important. The difficulty is not a sign that the destination is impossible. It is evidence that the destination is extraordinary. If reaching greatness were easy, everyone would remain committed until the end. Your journey will include moments when you feel misunderstood, overlooked, and even alone. Those moments are not designed to weaken your spirit. They are designed to strengthen your independence. There are lessons that can only be learned when applause disappears and faith becomes your only source of motivation. Anyone can keep moving when they are constantly encouraged. True character is revealed when you continue even in silence. Think about a diamond hidden deep beneath the earth. For years it remains buried under tremendous pressure. No one sees its value while it is still hidden. Yet the pressure is not destroying the diamond. The pressure is creating it. In the same way, the challenges surrounding your life may be producing strength, wisdom, humility, and resilience that comfort could never develop. What feels heavy today may become the very reason you inspire someone tomorrow. Protect your mind with the same determination that you protect your dreams. Be careful what you listen to, what you believe, and who influences your decisions. Negative words repeated often enough can become invisible chains. Positive truth repeated consistently can become unstoppable confidence. Feed your mind with thoughts that lift your vision instead of shrinking your expectations. Do not be discouraged if progress seems slow. Trees that live for hundreds of years do not grow overnight. They become strong because they continue growing through every season, whether the weather is favorable or difficult. Your consistency during hard times will determine your strength during successful times. Refuse to become the person who constantly talks about change without ever making it. Become the person whose actions speak louder than promises. Every disciplined choice is another brick in the foundation of your future. Every act of courage moves you farther from the limits of your past. Keep climbing, keep believing, and keep becoming, because the person waiting for you at the top is stronger, wiser, and greater than the person who first began the journey. One decision can change the direction of an entire lifetime. Not next year, not someday, today. The life you keep imagining will never appear through wishing alone. It begins the moment you decide that your excuses have taken enough from you. Every day you delay becoming your best self is another day your potential remains locked inside you. Stop waiting for confidence to arrive before you act. Confidence is not the starting point. It is the reward that follows courageous action repeated over time. Imagine a ship built with the finest materials ever crafted. It is powerful, beautiful, and capable of crossing the greatest oceans. Yet if it never leaves the harbor, it will never fulfill the reason it was created. The harbor feels safe because the waters are calm, but ships are not built for safety alone. They are built for the open sea. In the same way, you were never created merely to exist within the boundaries of comfort. You were created to explore, to grow, to overcome, and to become more than you have ever imagined. Many people spend years protecting themselves from failure, only to discover they have also protected themselves from greatness. They avoid risks, difficult conversations, new opportunities, and bold decisions because they fear what might go wrong. But they rarely ask a more important question. What if everything goes right? What if the opportunity you keep avoiding is the very one that transforms your future? What if your next courageous step opens a door that years of hesitation could never unlock? There is incredible power in deciding who you will become before the world recognizes it. Champions think differently before they perform differently. Leaders develop character before they receive influence. Builders create a vision long before anyone else sees the finished masterpiece. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly believe about yourself today. Do not allow temporary failure to become a permanent identity. Falling does not make you defeated. Quitting does. Every successful person has faced moments of rejection, disappointment, and uncertainty. The difference is that they refused to let painful experiences define their destiny. Instead, they allowed every setback to sharpen their wisdom and strengthen their resolve. Wake up every morning with the determination to improve one area of your life. Read one more chapter. Learn one more skill. Make one healthier decision. Speak one encouraging word. Take one bold step toward your purpose. Small improvements seem insignificant in a single day, but multiplied over months and years, they produce extraordinary transformation. The old version of you waited for permission. The new version creates opportunities. The old version focused on limitations. The new version focuses on possibilities. The old version feared change. The new version embraces growth with courage, discipline, and unwavering faith. Continue moving forward with confidence, because your greatest days are not behind you. They are waiting on the other side of the person you choose to become today. The person you are becoming is already waiting for you. The only question is whether you will have the courage to meet that person. Years from now, you will either thank yourself for the decisions you make today, or wonder why you kept postponing the life you knew you were capable of living. Every sunrise places a blank page in your hands. Every choice writes another sentence in your story. The future is not created by chance. It is created by daily decisions that shape your character long before they shape your circumstances. Imagine an architect standing before an empty piece of land. To everyone else, it looks like ordinary ground, but the architect already sees a magnificent building rising into the sky. Every measurement, every blueprint, every foundation stone is placed with the finished vision in mind. The building does not appear in one day. It is constructed one brick at a time, with patience, precision, and unwavering commitment. Your life follows the same principle. The dreams you carry become reality through the small decisions you faithfully repeat every single day. Never underestimate the power of discipline. Motivation may inspire you to begin, but discipline will carry you through the days when excitement fades and challenges increase. Discipline transforms intentions into actions, actions into habits, and habits into a lifestyle that produces lasting success. When you choose discipline over comfort, you are choosing the future over the present. You are investing in a life that will continue rewarding you long after temporary pleasures have disappeared. There will be moments when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. In those moments, remember why you started. Remember the dreams that refused to leave your heart. Remember the person you promised yourself you would become. Do not allow one difficult season to convince you that your purpose has disappeared. Storms never last forever. They pass, and when they do, they often reveal strength you never knew you possessed. From this day forward, stop introducing yourself through your past. Introduce yourself through your potential. Speak like someone who believes in the future. Think like someone preparing for greatness. Act like someone whose purpose is too important to waste another day living beneath their potential. Every decision you make either strengthens the old version of you or builds the new version that your future is calling into existence. So stand up with renewed determination. Walk forward with confidence. Refuse to settle for average when excellence is within your reach. Refuse to let fear write the final chapter of your story. This is your moment to outgrow every limitation and become the person you were created to be. And if this message challenged you to think differently, don't stop here. Continue this journey by watching the next video, because your transformation has only just begun, and the next lesson could be the one that changes your life forever.